This was garbage. As a young boy, there's really two types of anime you watch. The first being shonen, that you, the 12-year-old viewer, use to self-insert and imagine that you have powers and that you are saving your friends. Number two is, okay, there's boobies in this show. I want to watch this show because there's boobies in this show. So check this out. What was Sekirei about? Thoughts? I can tell you all about Bleach, Fairy Tail, Soul Eater, and even Naruto, which I barely had any exposure to, because despite pandering to young boys, these shows still had to rely on establishing a relationship with me. They had the challenge of getting a young, stupid child invested in something made up. They had to make me care about their characters and place me in the shoes of a fictional man overcoming impossible odds to do the right thing over and over and over again. Yes, a lot of these shows do not hold up as an adult, but the connection they forged with me at that time is 100% real. What is going on over there?
Is my humongous shitter distracting you?
If you look upon the old ecchi harem stuff, removing the sex appeal reveals a barren, skeletal outline. There wasn't a sense of adventure or anything, just, oh, who's he gonna get with? Who's he gonna kiss? And no one. Looking back, it's funny how little effort they put into the stories of these shows. So for what's probably gonna be the final time I make a video like this, let's take a look at Heaven's Lost Property. I watched the fuck out of it when I was younger, but I couldn't tell you the main character's name, so let's dive back in and see what the show is all about. A classic thing I forgot about 2010's anime is how the dubbing companies would pass around the same 4 voice actors like a soggy backwood, and who else but the main character Tomo to remind me.
Oh, damn it! I am so not talking to that guy.
Whoever approved of this, I hate you. His voice is like a fucking flashbang. His character talks to me and it just sounds like, you ruined so many characters for me as a kid. Anyway, the first time we meet Tomo is as he's being woken up by his childhood best friend. But he has morning wood, so he gets slapped. It's hilarious. So hilarious that this will be the only joke they tell for the whole show. Tomo goes to school and talks to some weirdo who convinces him to investigate a giant black swirling ball of death. When he arrives, pillars fall from the sky, and within that hail of rubble falls an angeloid robot who Tomo decides to go back and save.
My purpose is to fulfill your every want and desire. You are my master.
Okay, so ladies, please leave for a moment while I talk.
Do you know what I fucking do? Okay, so it's not just me, we're both totally thinking it.
And what does Tomo do? Jack shit. But don't be mistaken, we watched this as kids patiently waiting for Tomo to try something, anything. Anyways, ladies, welcome back. Tomo brings the angeloid home and learns her name is Icarus. Now here's the cool thing about Icarus. Not only is she completely subservient to Tomoki, but she can grant literally any wish he wants.
Angeloids were created for the sole purpose of bringing our masters pleasure. It is all we know.
So whatever I want,
Yes.
you're...
Monkeys. I'm not sure I understand. Monkeys! Monkeys, final answer! Instead of making a useful wish, Tomoki takes the chance to turn invisible, stop time, delete every person on Earth, and tell Icarus to fucking kill herself after everything's done. But he's kinda not happy after and wishes that everything was just a dream all along. It's the good ending. And from then on, you would expect Tomoki and Icarus to run around episode to episode getting into silly adventures using their infinite wish-giving powers. You fucking idiot, I bet you would. I bet you would think that. Did you think they would remember that Icarus can grant wishes? Did you think that anything significant would happen this entire show? Let me tell you what the show is really like. One episode is about his childhood friend trying on panties because they keep flying away. This episode is about Tomoki stealing hundreds of panties and hanging them up as trophies, but they explode every time he looks at them because his childhood friend gets to make wishes now. This one is about Tomoki trying to sell stuff to buy porn. This is filler. You know, it was around the episode where Tomoki fights a giant panty mech and started basking in the underwear it was wearing where I began to think, oh, I should have listened to my mama. How did I end up here? Fuck. Tomoki does pretty much nothing of note all day and solves stupid problems with his group of friends. Most of them involve Tomoki's obsession with perverse activities nearly always going awry and getting beat up. But there's other episodes like Icarus going to school that aren't entirely focused on Tomo being inept. However, none of these things progress the plot. Everyone forgets most of whatever happened last episode, and nearly none of the characters have any development aside from having random dark flashbacks. Nothing they do impacts the world or any of the people around them. Nothing is serious, and it's completely PG-13 until the writer's stupid poop-filled mind thinks, hello everybody, I would like to make a dark and a violent anime piece, like Berserk. Why randomly take yourself so seriously after spending the whole show dicking around and chewing on underwear, which was absolutely popular by the day? This weird obsession with girls' underwear. What was with old animes and girls' underwear? You guys want to know what's really in girls' underwear? Blood. Discharge, yuckiness, and if you don't know what that is, you're too young to be watching this. The story sucks. It's as if the author lost a bet to put as many tropes in an anime as possible. You got the abusive female childhood best friend trope, main character lives alone trope, the small tits equals mean trope, beach episode, bath episode, hot springs episode, band episode. You want to know how I watched a band episode? I can literally show you.
This one's called I'm Falling Down.
Another point is that every struggle in the show is effectively meaningless. The main character can grant any wish he has and stop conflict before it becomes an issue, like when he loses his house. But for some reason he doesn't. You don't have to be a reviewer to notice that. Most of the comments are calling that out. Heaven's Lost Property is a meaningless story tumbling around with nothing to say. The story was trash, but how about the characters? Remember Sohara? She made the show unwatchable. Toma was nothing but kind to her, has shown repeatedly that he's a good guy, and yet she does the same jokes several times every episode, usually with no reason at all.
I just wanted you to know that I hate you. No one thinks you're cute. In fact, everyone thinks you're quite unattractive. You appear to be kind, but you're actually a very violent person. What?
But despite tormenting Tomo, she feels completely entitled to his time and emotions, often beating him up when he shows affection to other girls. This is a pretty common thing we used to see. You can even often see him anxious and desperately trying to please Sohara. All signs not uncommon in victims of abuse. But let's get something straight. Tomoki is the most putrid excuse of a main character I have seen in some time. I felt like I burned my life force making myself watch this. He has no talents or skills to his name. He can't even defend himself. His voice is ear-gratingly terrible. But combine that with the fact that for over 90% of the show, they draw him as this small little voodoo doll, and you have what becomes the most pathetic main character of 2009.
It's very wise to not take a watermelon lightly.
I don't know what this guy's deal is. And the only character that you might end up liking is from Texas. Oh wait, no, she's just stupid. They introduce a couple more angels that you might recognize, but who cares? Tomoki doesn't do anything with them anyway. There's so much to dislike about this show, so how could someone possibly enjoy this? How did I enjoy this? You already know what I'm gonna say. If you're anything like me, you wished that a wish-granting robot would crash into you from the sky. You wished that 3 women would be infatuated with you. When you haven't done anything with a girl and you're at the point where the touch of a shoulder makes your blood pressure spike, your imagination runs wild when you watch this type of stuff as a kid. And when you see this completely inept and frustrating main character who fumbles opportunities over and over, you begin to think about how much better you would be in these situations. You're not a filthy degenerate like Tomoki. You're a kid watching anime who's way smarter than anyone ever and is super smooth while also actually being Spider-Man and Ben 10 at the same time. Then we have the harem aspect. They tease at multiple girls falling for the main character to reel you in hopes that one of them warms up to the main character and, you know, maybe kiss or some, which never ever happens. It's a stupid addiction that you form based on hope. You look at the guy and you see a short, ugly, perverted manlet fondling boobies and you have hope. Maybe that'll be me one day. And let me just tell you kids, it will. I can't go back in time and tell myself that, but if I did, it would probably go a bit like this. Hey buddy, I see you haven't found out about anime yet. I know it can be lonely as an adolescent who hasn't really had much experience with girls, but let's say you turn that shit off, alright? It's making me it's making me sick. Because dude, you are missing a whole continent worth of content. Comedy can be done with relatable characters that don't rely on tropes. The hottest chicks can be found in stories that are also awesome in manga. Well, let's not grow up too fast. Take my hand, kid. We have cooler shows to watch. But wait! You're at the age where, Mom and Dad might be questioning your internet usage. I sure hope you're using a VPN.
Oh, gee, what's a VPN?
I'm glad you asked. Really, I need the watch time. A VPN basically cloaks your internet usage, meaning that you can download things anonymously, you can look at things anonymously, etc. Hey, buddy, don't worry. In a metaphorical sense, I don't know what you're looking at. Really, I can't fucking tell. But did I mention that you can use a VPN for more? Nord can make it appear as if you're in an entirely different location. Maybe there's anime that's only available in another country. Perhaps you want to bypass your school's internet restrictions and show the homies games on another site other than Cool Math. That's not what you're going to use it for. Listen, there are plenty of uses for a VPN, including safety, privacy, and freedom. If you want in on one, Nord's hooking me up with a special link and code that allows you to get 60% off a 2-year plan with an extra month free. That's about $3.96 a month, which I would gladly pay for even without a sponsor. But don't do that, Nord. Keep sponsoring me. That's about it. Peace.